Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm using a couple of digital kits from Paper Inspirations to create these embellishments. Links to the products I use will be in the description box. So I'm just going to have a quick flip through. This is a free printable over on Paper Inspirations Ko-fi site. So if you're interested in that, I've printed it in two sizes here. This is the standard size that it came in as, and I've just extended it a bit to make it slightly bigger. So that's a freebie. Now this is the, what's it called? Vintage Ephemera 1. So I've printed this once again in two sizes. So I've printed it in A5 size and then I've printed it in A4 size. So that's that one, and that's it in the A4 size. So there's also these photo strips, which once again I have printed in both sizes. So there's all sorts of ephemera in here. There's that one, which is that one in for A4 size. You can see they print quite well in A4. And this one is this one down the bottom. Here we have this top section is that in the A5. So we get tickets, everything's in two sizes. And then this one is the bottom section there. This one, so we've got the guest checks, the thank you, hotel dockets, admit one ticket, and then we've got the Ministry of Food rationing year, so it must be out of a rationing book in this form here. So that's the guest checks and things at the top there in A4 size, and this is the bottom section in A4 size. This one here, more tickets on that one, some tickets down here, more guest checks, and that's the A4 size for the top. Got the library page there, and this one here. Then we have this page here. Now that folio, that's it, printed full size A4 size. I only just got that in there, you can see. So that's that one, and then this one is this one down the bottom. We have a report card, not quite sure what that one is, and some torn paper pieces. These are all printed on 200 GSM paper here, A4 premium digital paper, 200 GSM. The colours come out quite nicely. So then I just thought I'd print a couple of extra of the two, like the half size ones. I thought they might be a bit handy. Then we've got this one, notice of discharge, and lots of tickets and odds and ends here. So that's that one in A4. So, sorry, that's the bottom one in A4, and the top one in A4. So that's the full kit. 14 pages I think it is, but I ended up printing out 20 of them because I printed them in the different sizes, plus this one here. So I'm going to use some of those today, but I'm also going to use these 2 pages here from the, what's this one called? Vintage Hues of Blue. So I'm going to make a couple of bags, and then I'm going to decorate them. Now I got the instruction for creating the bags from Roxy's weekly challenges. and yeah, I really like the bags that it makes, so I'm going to do that. So I'm just overlapping that a fraction, and that gives us a nice pattern on the back of the bag. I make sure it's straight, which is not always right, and it gives us a nice background on the front. There's nothing you know, striking. Oh, this book and pen's nice, but there's nothing to take your attention away. Now we're just going to fold that up. That's not straight, I don't think. That might be better. Now on the top we fold this down a fair way from memory, and then we fold it down so that that just overlaps, goes just slightly past that first fold. Now I'm going to use my pinking shears and cut along the bottom of this bag just for a little bit of extra decoration. Okay, now what we have to do is we open this out and we take, you can see I've written on there, Vintage Hues of Blue. This is page 4 from the kit. So I'm going to cut that piece out. And I'm taking that fold out because that just reduces the bulk. Now, I have to turn this over so that I can work out how that goes. Folds down like that. So I think I cut both pieces away. Yes. No, just the one. Cut that piece out. And cut this top piece out. Now we can I have to cut down, right down there I think. Now I'm going to stick this and fold that way. That just reinforces that top of that bag a little. And that one. Stick that down. And stick this one down. Okay, so now we can fold that in and that in, and we can put a little bead of glue along here, and a little bead of glue along here, and stick that in place. And then we can stick the bottom up. And we can put a little angle on here. Probably should have made this fold a little bit longer, I think. And I'm going to cut along the top of that as well. You can see I'm just taking off the smallest amount. See. Okay, so there we have our bag. That's one. I'm going to make two. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So this is Vintage Hues of Blue, page 2. So this one I might make it a bit narrower, I think. Like that. I'm going to turn the bottom up. And I'm going to turn the top down. I'm going to make this a lot bigger this time, so I want about, I'm going to fold that down about that much. So you can see I've got quite a bit there, and then I'm going to fold that down about that much. Now I may have this wrong, but I'm just doing this by memory, so I may well be out with my technique from the way Rachel did it, but actually I'm going to cut that on a little bit more of an angle. Okay, and I'll cut along there with my pinking shears. Now here we cut right down to the second fold. And then we cut the first piece off, the top piece off here, and the top piece off here. Then we stick that piece down. So these two are just printed on normal copier paper. These are not printed on the 200 GSM. That one is folded down that way, so that it comes just below that level there. Then we can put our glue on here. And on here. And stick that down. And we can add our glue here. I'm not taking it right up to the top because on paper bags that bottom piece usually is a bit loose at the top. I could have inked along those too. Should have, if I had thought of it, I would have. Now I'm going to trim these corners back a little and then put my pinking shears across the top. And there we have our second bag. So we've got two bags, two different sizes. Actually, they turned out to be around about pretty well the same height, didn't they? They are. So one's a bit wider than the other. So now I'm going to embellish these. Okay, so I have stitched around my bags. And I've realised that I've done them back to front. This is the back, and this higher piece should be on the back, not the front. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I'm still going to use the front to decorate. And I've got a heap of stuff out here to embellish these with, and I'm just going to try bits and pieces and see what I think of them. Now I definitely want some sort of fibre on each one, and I've got this lace, which is a vintage lace. I've got some coffee dyed cheesecloth, or cheesecloth. I've got some cotton frizz, and I've got this cotton, what is this one called? Cotton frizz ribbon that I could use on there, and I've also got this mint cotton frizz. So I'm going to do them both similar but not exactly the same, and I'm really quite partial to this lace, so I think I might start off with this on one of them. So if I just cut a piece of this, I can use that on either one. And I have been very, very, very industrious and cut out all of my pieces from the kit. Every single piece has been cut out that I've printed out. So I'm going to use those. I don't know whether to do them both at the same time or do one after the other. So I think I might do one after the other. Now I need to find some pieces in here that I want to add onto this. So I could put, say, something like that. This is a little, more of a little book thing, I think. We have got this little folio. Perhaps something like that. And something a little bit smaller, like this maybe. If I move that up a little, and I do lose a lot. Oh, I could turn that around, have the frilly edge to the outside, and then I can, it doesn't matter if I cover up the straight edge. Like that maybe, and then something a little smaller, in there maybe. So we've got a few layers there. I'm not too keen on that being stuck. I'd probably go for something like that, I think, more to the side. Up a little bit. So something like that. What else have I got? I'm going to distress all of my edges on this. I have got some butterflies from this kit here. And what's that called? Vintage Hues of Blue. And I've got a little postcard, so perhaps I might substitute that for that. I think that looks nice. Yeah. So we've got that blue coming back in there. And I've got some butterflies from that collection. I've got that one, or I have these that I purchased from Sue. These are a uniquely creative cut apart sheet, and I think this one's got some blues in it. All I have to do is be able to get into it. It's got some blues. See, that's a nice one. Or something like that maybe. Do I want to put a row of this on there as well? Sort of coming down here. No, I don't think so. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rough these up. Probably not quite that rough, but now you can, there's several different types of distressing tools. You can use the edge of your scissors, just like the blade like that, and the other type that is around is this. So there's like a little blade in there, you could probably see that, so that roughs things up as well. So there's 3 different ways of doing that, and then once I've roughed up the edges, I'm going to use my vintage photo and just ink around the edges to give it that well-worn look. It won't hurt. I might just sort of crease that down, put some ink on the back of it, and just sort of roll it. Sort of like that. Okay, and I might actually stamp something on this. I've got this Darkroom door stamp that I could use, and I've also got somewhere here amongst all this stuff, I've got a cute little floral stamp that I might use. So this also came from Sue. Cute little package it comes in, look at that. Got the old, and a little thing here showing what the stamp looks like. So I'm just going to use my vintage photo, and I'm just going to ink up that part of the stamp. press that down there and maybe a little more lower down like that. Okay, so let me wipe that off. I always like to clean my stamps after I've used them. So I usually use a baby wipe and then just wipe them down with a dry cloth. So that is quite good. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the distressing on these two pieces as well, and when I've done that I'll come back. Okay, so while I was distressing them, I also took them to my sewing machine and stitched around the edge of them. Now this one, I think I'm going to use this Darkroom door stamp to just stamp some text on that. So I'm going to use the same vintage photo ink. Just stamp that down onto there. I'm not worried if I don't get like a complete stamp. I just want something on there. Yes, that's good. Okay, right, so now I'm going to stick these down. I'm going to use some fabric glue for the lace. Not really necessary, but I will do it. Looks like it's a bit blocked, so although that doesn't feel too blocked. Now it's running out everywhere. So I'll just put a bead of it up there and a bead of it along there. So if it doesn't, you know, go right to the edge, I'm not worried about that. Okay. So that's that stuck down. Now this is going to go about there, I think, and I'm going to use my art glitter glue for that. Probably could use Fabri-Tac once again because it is going on top of that lace, but art glitter glue is pretty good for sticking things down, so I'm not too concerned about it. About there. Then we're going to put this one and it about there, and this one is going to go, where was I going to put this one? Can't remember. There. I think I might put it there like that. Drop it down a little bit and out a bit. What do you think? Should blank up there then? Already stuck. Near enough. I could put that on there like that, and then I could put my butterfly down there. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Let my cotton hang out. Where was I going to put it? I'm going to put it there. There. There it is. And do I need anything else on this? So I have inked around this. I'm going to there, I think. I could have stitched on the butterfly's body, I should have, I guess. So there we are. Here's our first bag. Just want to make sure that's stuck down quite firmly on the edges, because you know, as the paper bag flexes, I want to make sure it stays in place. Okay, so that's that one. Now we're going to work on the second one. So this next one is a little bit smaller. Okay. Alright, so what are we going to do on this one? I think I might use the cheesecloth on this one. I dyed this cheesecloth a while ago and I haven't used it, so now might be the perfect time. So let's cut a piece. Do we want? Let's go this way this time. So let's just cut it about here. It's cut pretty roughly, but I'm going to fray the edges out, so it's not going to really make all that much difference. I've got the edging there, or what they call it, the selvage. So I'm needing to cut that off. Yeah, sorry about that. I've got this cough that just won't seem to go away. I guess it's from my recent cold and drives me crazy. But I just stopped videoing because I didn't want you to have to listen to all that. So I've had a sip of my cup of tea. Hopefully that will ease it for a while. But yeah, I'm just fraying the edges, pulling some strings out of this. A lot of people save these stringy bits, but I don't. Probably should. But I don't know, I just never seem to have a use for them, and I don't know, just if you save everything, you end up with stuff everywhere, which I've got anyway, so more stuff than I think I'll ever use, just like everybody else. Might just stretch that a bit out of shape and put it in like that way, maybe, or maybe just bunched up a bit underneath. Okay, so we've got that there. What about if we put a bit of this across the bottom? Actually, I'm going to cut that. And I'm going to get some blue ink and I'm going to colour this slightly blue. Okay, so I'm going to use this Salty Ocean and just a dauber. I could, oh, look at that ink all around the edge of that. This is a new pad. I've never, oh, it's all leaking everywhere. I've never re-inked this. This is just the original. Oh, so I don't know why it's leaking like that. Anyway,
I'm going to put some ink on here, and then I'm going to just brush that over my cotton frizz. I'm not looking for a solid cover. I'm just wanting to colour it a little bit, and the variegated look is good for me. Okay, probably need to set that aside and clean that up a bit. Okay, so I'm going to just pop that across there like so. I want that to come, I'm going to move that up to the side a little more. And I'm going to pop that across there like that. That way. Okay. Now, what can I put on this one? Probably something a little bit smaller than that, I think. I've got these little ones. That's a good size. And I've got these little photo strips. I don't know. I'm not sure that I like that dark edge. And then maybe what have we got that we can put sideways? Something that's a bit... not that keen on that blue with that. I don't mind the green actually. Put that there. And something fairly neutral. I think, you know, it's just a matter of trial and error, isn't it? Trial things and see what you think of them, and then try something a little bit different. And so something like that. What do we think of that? Okay. So I have got this washi tape stickers, and I think there's some nice labels in this. Yes, there is. So I could put one of these washi labels I want the yellowish. I've got a couple here. All I have to do is get them off. And I might pop that sort of over that. Maybe up there. Sideways. Across there. Across there. Okay. I will cross that bridge when I get to it. So what I'm going to do now is, firstly, I will stick my fabrics down. And put that like that. Just a little dab out there. And then this one, once again, I'm not going to put glue right to the edge. I'm happy with just putting it across the middle, and you know, the edges are free to move up and down. Right, so now I need to have a look at the elements that I'm going to put on there. So I'm going to distress them in the same way that I did the other bag. So I'm going to distress them with my distressing tool, ink around them, and then stitch around them. And when I've got that done, I'll come back. Now I have these chipboard pieces that I am going to use on this bag, and I'm going to just paint them white. I'm just using some white acrylic paint. I think I got this from Aldi, so it's not expensive paint. I will end up giving it 2 coats though, just to make sure that I get a reasonable cover. Although I don't necessarily need it to be exactly bright white, do I? I just thought I'd paint this now before I start doing my other pieces, so that it has a good chance to dry while I'm doing those other jobs. So I think that will be bright enough for what I want. I'm not going to give it another coat. I'm going to just touch up any side pieces that are not too well covered. Then I'm just going to set that aside to dry while I go and do my stitching and so on around my embellishments wherever they are. Here they are here. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I've stitched around all of my pieces, and I've actually used that same blue ink that I used there to colour this, because when I put the white on there it got lost, so I decided to go with the blue. So once again I used that Salty Ocean blue. Now I'm going to attach these to my card. So I'm going to use some of the fabric glue to attach this one. I'm just going to pop that down about there, I think. So I use the fabric glue because that's sticking onto fabric. I could use the fabric glue for all of it really. Now this one actually got lots of strings on. Oh, I can trim them off later. So I'm just putting some glue on there, and I am attaching that about like that. Actually, I should have attached, where's this piece? This piece has to go under there, so I need to get some glue onto that. Make sure I've got it up the right way. Stick that down. And it's about level with the bottom of that. And I want it to come in a bit from the edge of that. I'll actually drop that down a little bit, like so. And then this one, which always looks upside down to me, but it's not, is going to go about here. And then we're just going to add our blue. I think I might add it about there. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue to do that, because I've had pretty good success with art glitter glue holding chipboard in place. just going to pop that in there, like so. So, got glue and ink and everything everywhere. Now I'm going to trim off some of these edges, threads. I do like to leave some threads on, but I don't want overload. Okay, so there we have it. That one and this one. I'll trim these cottons off a little bit as well. So there's our two bags that I've made today using two different printables from Paper Inspirations. I'll put links to everything I've used in the description box if you're interested in having a look. So there we go. I also thought that I could put a coat of glossy accents over the top of that, but I think I've got enough on there as it is. So there we go, that's today's projects. I've got a big mess here to clean up, so I will endeavour to do that, but there we go. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you're not already a subscriber, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you give me a thumbs up and a like and a comment, that all helps me too. So yeah, thank you for being here, and I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.